Where are we going this week, buddy? Do you know? Are we going to Japan? No, we're not going to Japan.
No. Mm-mm.
Are we going to Germany? Yeah, we're going to go Germany.
Ha.
Not just Germany, but back in the day, it was known as East Germany. The People's Democratic Republic of East Germany. That's right. And, you know, what are we looking at? It's a Carl Zeiss Jena Flektogon, known as the Fleck. That's right. We know the Fleck, right? It's a 35mm 2.4. It's mostly got a good reputation. I mean, in the vintage world, a lot of people are after it. Dylan, over here, look that way. Jeez, welcome back. Break your arm and it gives you brain damage. Have you noticed? What's that, right? He fell down, broke his arm. So, let's talk about this lens. Is it good? Do you think it's any good? No, you don't think so? Well, what do you know? Well, let's find out together. So grab yourself something to eat or drink, get yourself comfortable, and let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and his injured co-host Dylan. That's right, as you can see, Dylan got himself a broken arm. Oh no. How did that happen? Was Dr. Scott a little rough with Dylan? Did he make him pay for taking those weeks off Camera Talk?
I'm sorry!
No. He was out playing with his friends, got a little ahead of everybody. The kid right behind him got a little envious that Dylan was so fast and gave him a little push from behind, and Dylan hit the ground.
What the fuck?
Snap! Ow! And off we went to the hospital. So, an x-ray later, some plaster later, and voila! He got himself a little cast. And he's taking it quite well. What is today, day 2? And he's not complaining anymore, and he's kind of just living with it. So we'll see how the remaining weeks go with this anyway. So anyway, back to why we're here. Well, we're here to talk about today's lens is a Carl Zeiss Jena Flektogon, otherwise known as the Fleck. It's got its nickname as the Fleck, and it's a 35mm 2.4 is the model I have. They, as in they, Carl Zeiss, originally went through 4 different versions. That's right, versions of this lens.
You must tie her down on a bed and spank her.
Beginning in 1953 up till 1975, they made 2 different versions of a 2.8. Silver body. I've got one of those also, but I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about the newer one. So those were the 2 body styles of the time with a 2.8 aperture. Then they made 2 more versions.
It's a child!
1975 through 1979. And these were made in black metal. And the 1975 one is the one I have, which is an M42 mount, and it is known as the electric because it has 3 contacts, electric contacts, to allow it to pass information on to the body of the camera itself. And the second one was a Praktica mount. All the same optical formula, so nothing different there. But this lens is also one of the first multi-coating examples that Carl Zeiss has or had produced at the time. So so again, four different models of this, and two 2.8 and two at 2.4, and again, it's a pretty good lens. It's got quite a following, a cult following.
I'm a very stable genius.
A lot of people, seek out this lens, and for good reason. There's a lot of it has a lot of things going for it. So that optical formula that I mentioned, it's 6 elements in 6 groups. Its close focus is pretty good at. And let's move you off to this side for a second. 19 centimeters. So that's right about here. That's pretty close. It has macro capabilities as well that gets even closer. I mean, you got 19 centimeters here, 9 centimeters. So you could bring it down this close to Dylan's face. And he's like, why you got your hand so close to my face?
Stop touching me!
But anyway, that's, getting in this close. And I'll show you samples of that. Actually, I can show you a sample of that right here. I got some macro shots I took of Dylan's little dinosaur. So let me show you that at f2 2.4 right here. All right, so that's Dylan's dinosaur. So that was the macro version, how close it can get. It has a 1:2 reproduction ratio, so that's pretty good, yeah? Aperture blades, 6 aperture blades, which is, again, nothing unusual, pretty common for the day. They are what they are. Are they rounded? Let's have a look. Don't fall off my leg. Yeah, they're rounded, so they don't really have any hard corners, so you're not, starting at, what is that, 2.8? What? Yeah, 2.8 or 3. I don't even know what the heck that is because it's not listed. You can kind of almost get a little ninja star going on there. See a little ninja star? And as we stop down there to like f4, f4ish, it starts to get a little hexagonish. Yeah. They are roundish, so can't complain too much about that, right? So those are your 6 aperture blades. 250 grams, so it's heavy but not that heavy. It's all metal and glass, of course, you kind of expect that much out of it. Now, because of its age and where it was being made at the time, who's in Carl Zeiss in the east of Germany, they weren't all that high on quality control. So the lubricants they were using weren't all that great, and therefore the focus ring is a little sluggish in that regard. But the rest of the build is pretty good. It's all metal and everything. It produces some outstanding colors. One of the things that the Flektogon is reputed to result in. And its bokeh is another thing. Its bokeh is pretty creamy smooth, which is nice for a 35 millimeter.
Rich, smooth, buttery bokeh.
And of course, depends on the distance from your subject to the background and all that other kind of stuff that factors into it. The image quality is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad at all for again where it was being produced and the era it was in. It's fairly sharp. I mean, wide open, maybe not so much because it has a relatively shallow depth of field, but as you start to stop down to like f4 and stuff, it sharpens up quite nicely. And I'll show you some samples of that too. Oh, what's that one? Yeah, let me pick that string out of there for you. Yeah, the doctor was kind of lazy on that regard, huh? Whatever. So anyway, what else can I say? The size is quite compact. You know, again, for a 35, it's not bad. I mean, this is a 35 2.4. Up here, I have a 35 1.4. The lens is like this, and this one's like this, so it's great. You know, the size difference.
It's how you use it.
But this one is good for like travel and whatnot because of the fact that it's so compact. It's great to, as an all-around lens, you know, for landscape, for portraiture, for macro. You know, again, it's kind of a one-stop shop lens, which is again why it's so popular. And you know, is it something we can recommend? No, you still don't like it, even from the intro till now. You still don't like this lens, huh? Well, what do you know anyway?
Get the fuck out of here.
You don't know anything. You're just a 3-year-old. So, I can recommend it because I have a number of lenses, and this is one of my, you know, one of my personal favorites when it comes to a 35 millimeter on a full frame. Now, of course, with a, you know, like on my Canon M50, which I use to record these videos, it would be closer, you know, closer to the 50 millimeter, you know, focal length. So it's again, it's a great little bang for the buck. And again, with an M42 mount, there's a million of those adapters around the world, so they're easy to find, easy to adapt to. So very nice. The build's a little odd because the focus ring is right at the very end of the barrel, which is strange because most lenses have their focus ring right in the middle of it, and then the aperture is either right at the bottom of the lens or right at the very edge. But this one's the opposite of that. So it's the aperture ring is at the bottom and the focus ring is at the top. Anyhow, it is what it is. But as I said, these old German lenses from the 1970s and 80s tend to have, you know, sluggish lubricant after a while. They tend to dry up and get a little stiff.
That's what she said.
But as long as you don't need to deal with that, or you can get it CLA'd and replace that lubricant or do it yourself, you know, take it apart and don't break it though. If you saw my episode a couple camera talks ago where I took my top core apart and I broke the lens. Luckily it was just a chip out of the corner. But still, how much of a bummer is that, huh? Jeez, way to go, Dr. Scott.
Idiot.
Anyway, so yes, I can recommend this lens. It's probably not cheap. I haven't checked the prices lately on these things, but because they are in demand, they tend to range a little high. But you can get a good deal on these if you look around and shop the right place. The way I usually find a better deal is to buy a camera, an old digital or an old film camera that has this lens attached to it, and it's the best way to really buy it. So you get a camera and a lens in one. But people tend to sell their old cameras for cheaper than people selling vintage lenses tend to sell them for. So anyway, how about some real world samples? So I get you a shot. Like I said, we use a Canon M50 to record these videos, and what I like to do is try to focus in on the nameplate on the end of the barrel. Let's make sure where I'm at. 2.4. The nameplate on the end of the barrel here. I think I went past it. Hold on, mister. Yeah, right about there looks good. All right, ready? 2.4. 1, 2, 3. All right, that was a 2.4. Let's go 5.6 is usually my next sample. So let's again take a look and see. I'm not squishing your head or anything, am I? No, you're okay. Oops. Went a little past critical focus. Right about there. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that was at 2.4, 5.6. As you can see, not bad. The sharpness is pretty decent. How about some real world stuff like Dylan, right? Let's take some shots of, or show you some shots of Dylan at 2.4. Uh-huh. How do you think you look? You look good? No, you didn't look good in that? Why? You worried that your cast didn't look well? All right, well, let's try another one at 5.6, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. What do you think of that one? Oh, we're boring you with this, are we? You look great, believe me. Anyway, he's all self-conscious of his cast now that somehow it's not going to make him look as handsome as he normally does, right? So anyway, he looks good at 2.4. He looks good at 5.6. Well, how about some random stuff? Show you some outdoor stuff instead of sitting here in the living room or in my office here. So how about some random stuff of trees and flowers and insects, and show you some more macro shots, and a couple of people at the end. Eh? You think so? Some random stuff, or random crap, as you say. I know, because you're not in there, so you don't like random crap. But I'm going to show you the random crap anyway. So here are some random samples using this lens at f whatever. Okay, so those were the samples. That was the lens. Can I recommend it? Yes.
Yes.
I think it's a pretty good lens. I enjoy using it, and of course these are technical reviews. So, you okay? Yeah, you need to go back to the hospital? No, your broken arm is causing you to cough and everything. Yeah, what does that crack look like there? No, as long as it's not breaking open. So anyway, how about we recommend our photo editing software that we use? And I say we, it means me. And what do I use? I use Luminar. Luminar Neo is their latest greatest. It was a combination of Luminar AI and Luminar 4, and it's full of Sleepy Dylan. It's full of AI. And what does AI mean? Do you remember what AI means? Yeah? You gonna tell us? Yes, you do. You're just pulling our leg. All right, go ahead and give us a definition. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No, you silly critter, you. No, it's artificial intelligence. That's right, artificial intelligence. And this software is full of it. It has dust and spot removal. That's right. If you have spots on your photos when you're down at the beach and you're taking pictures of your hot girlfriend, seagulls flying around in the background, and then you check it out on your monitor later and you see all these spots and like, what's that? Could be sea spray, could be sand, could be dust, could be anything that's on your sensor. Well, in the old days, you just have to spot them out and brush them out and figure it out. But now there's a button you press called spot dust removal, and it analyzes your photo for you, and it removes those spots, and it leaves your hot girlfriend hot, and it leaves the seagulls still where they are, a flock of seagulls. No, not those flock of seagulls, the birds. So anyway, it leaves your birds alone. Yeah, it does. What's the next one? Next one is power line removal. Same thing. You might end up with some crappy power lines in your photo, and nobody likes those. In the old days, you used to brush them out and, take all the time to be doing that. Now AI can do it for you.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
It has background removal. It has scenery lighting. Moving the light from one side of the scene to the other. Now, it's not drastic like a spotlight or something, but it's a subtle, shift of light. Anyway, you can do all these types of things in the program that can really help with your workflow and your creativity anyway. So, I recommend it. Can you recommend it? No, you don't recommend anything today. You're a spoiled sport.
You suck.
But if you buy it, it's yours for life. And if you click on the description below, there's a link that'll take you to Skylum, who's the name of the company who produces Luminar. And if you buy it through that link, it'll deduct $10. So it's under $100. So it could bring it down even more. Save $10. Hey, why not, right? And what do they do with that $10? Do you know what they do with that $10?
Talk it out, man.
They give it to us. Yeah. And by us, do I mean me or do I mean you? What's wrong with your eyes? Are you getting sleepy? Well, it's getting to be that nappy time of day, isn't it? Uh-huh. So, they give us that $10. It's called kickback. Yay! Kickback. I don't do that usually with two arms. Yay! Kickback. Are you going to share that money with Daddy? No? Are you going to share it with Mommy? Oh, you suck. Last week you were going to share it with me. Now you're back to sharing it with Mommy again. Why, because Mommy bought you a yo-yo or something? Huh? She paid you off?
Show me the money!
Anyway. So, yes, we could recommend Luminar as well. Can we get them to support our channel? We need more support, right? We need exposure. No, that kind of exposure. The other exposure. So, subscribe. Yeah. How about this hand? Can you do subscribe? No, this won't do. Subscribe. Oh, you do with this hand and that hand. All right. Subscribe. Yeah. So, subscribe with us. And what else does YouTube like besides subscribers? You know what else they like? They like the thumbs up. Yeah, they like the thumbs up. And if you give us a thumbs up, we'll give you a little taste of Dylan's favorite part of the show, the thumbs up girls. All right, you want to sing with me? Thumbs up. Dee 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 dee. Thumbs up. No, you didn't sing with me. Boy, you're a real spoiled sport today.
I don't like your jerk-off face, I don't like your jerk-off behavior, and I don't like you. Jerk-off.
So, anyway, you think they should come back next week? No? You think they should unsubscribe and never show up again? Yeah, oh, you're very anti-camera talk, aren't you? Have to stop paying you. Well, not that I pay you anyway. I'll stop feeding you cookies, how's that?
What? No!
So, yeah, you should come back. And why should you come back? Because you belong here. That's right, you belong here. And where do they belong? What's the name of this show? This was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott. And my rebellious Dylan. That's right, and Dylan. So we do one of these every Friday, and that's Friday Vietnam time. So it could be the day before you, the day after you, or the same day as you, depending on what funky time zone you're in. Or time warp that you're in. So who are we? I'm Dr. Scott. You're Dylan.
This is my brother Doug.
And together we are all Modesty Photography. We're here to talk about tips and tricks about photography, lenses, camera systems, techniques for things, you name it. We'll talk about it. So thanks for dropping by. Thanks for listening. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for coming back next week. Thank you for having sympathy for Dylan and his poor broken arm. Do you want sympathy? Yeah, you like sympathy. You want all the girls to come along going, oh, poor you. Give me a big hug. Give me a big hug. So anyway, thank you for just being you. And we'll see you next week. Yeah? So you ready to say bye-bye? Yeah? Okay. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Here I am,